Hey guys, before today's episode of the podcast, I want you to check out brandsashka.com/goodies. That's brandsashka.com/goodies. It's where I'm dropping all high value content for you to grow as a creative visionary. Check it out, brandsashka.com/goodies.
You're listening to the Visionary on Fire podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Visionary on Fire podcast with Sashka. Today she's going solo and on fire with her thoughts around everything creative, visionary, leadership and marketing. Check it out.
Woohoo, visionaries, and welcome back to this week's Visionary on Fire podcast with moi, your host, Sashka, where I invite inspiring and visionary guests from around the world because I want them to share their thought leadership on their form of entrepreneurship, their philosophy, and using their learnings from this episode that you can implement today to be the change that you want to see and be in the world. So, who do I have with me here today who is being the change she wants to see in the world? Well, our next guest wanted nothing more as a child to work with and train horses, to be free amongst these majestic animals and feel their energy run through her veins. But it didn't quite go that way. And as do most things in life, but just like her favorite animation character, Twiddle, she may have felt small at that point, but she knew that she had greatness in her. I thought I tore a putty cap. So the universe, in its gentle manner, started showing our next guest her ability to coach. But she didn't just want to coach anyone. She wanted to coach artists, musicians, and militaries of our world, the ones who make us feel good, even when they are feeling terrible. The ones who hide behind drugs, alcohol, masks, depression, and trauma, and yet still produce such incredible music that moves our souls. She felt, much like she did about training with horses, that the musicians in all their unbridled wildness could learn to harness their own energy and step into a version of themselves that didn't have to hurt so much and still produce incredible music and artistry. What would that world look like, visionaries? Where you had the tools and support to know that you've got this, that you're not alone and are able to create masterpieces without continuous pain. Because trauma, depression, anger, shame, guilt, and all that goes around with us, it serves us for a while, but not forever. And we don't have to hold on to that world forever. We are allowed to let go. And that is what our next guest offers her clients and how she is helping to be the change that she wants to see in the world. She offers a space to give yourself permission to be free. She's not only a speaker, moderator, and MC for many events such as Amsterdam Dance Event, the leading conference and festival for electronic music, but she's also a contributor for Mixmag, which includes topics of discussion for artists, industry members, and fans alike to create and encourage a safe environment to openly discuss mental health issues. So, let's give our next guest a warm welcome. Here she is, folks, the one and only from Holland, Fenny Nadorp. Hello, Fenny.
Hi, and what an introduction. My God, I need that on paper. I want to study it and use it every time someone asks at me, hey, what do you do? Well, ask Sashka.
Thank you. I take that as a huge compliment. I take a lot of work and pride into doing the intro, so that's good. It makes you awesome. Awesome. So, Fenny, when did you first decide that it was time to start your own business? I'm delving into the area of entrepreneurship first when we're moving into this and what your form of entrepreneurship means. So when you moved and started your own business, and what steps did you take back then? Where did you start?
Well, I actually started because I want to make a difference. And working for a company or under someone, he has his own opinion, his own values, and they usually didn't match mine. So I was like, yeah, okay, if I want something to change and I want to put me into it, then I have to put me into it. And I can't do that while I work for someone else because their mind is different, their values. So I had to step up my game and decide for myself, what do I want to do? And then I thought, well, let's move on and start my own company.
I love it. You're not the only one. I mean, there are
Nope.
many of us. I did the same, starting your business or running your business as well, being a young mom. It's also not easy. It adds its sleepless nights. How have you managed that, especially in terms of, artists, whether struggling or established, the established ones, they can hire people to kind of assist them with their mental health. Whereas if you're not in that position, there's so much creativity that you're trying to create, but at the same time, when you go a little bit more deep, when you don't get sleep, you get into depression. Are the starting signs of depression. How do you manage with, I don't like using this word very much, but balancing, this whole being a mom, running your business, working with artists that have a lot of issues. How are you balancing all of that and your business at the same time?
Well, prioritizing.
Oh, yes.
That's so important. I was wondering for a while, and then you have to find balance as well. What is important for me? And of course, my kids come first. The youngest one is just 15 months old. The oldest is just turned 5. So they're really young and they need me to be there for them. So what I do is be there for them. So when they're awake, I'm there for them. When they're asleep, I'm working. And then you have the husband as well. You want to spend time with him. So we have a special night. It's our quality night, and that's sacred to us. We don't plan anything on that night, just for the two of us. We talk about almost everything that we do. We watch a Netflix movie or just spend time together. And it has to go that. And, when the kids grow older, you have more time. So there will be more balance and there will be more sleep. But when the why is big enough, it gives you energy. So you can do with a little bit less sleep as long as you take your rest and as long as you eat healthy and you keep a positive mindset. It actually goes really smooth with the kids.
I love that. And how is it balancing as well? Because that's prioritizing in your personal life. And how are you prioritizing then in your business when you're working with clients?
Well, first of all, I have to feel a connection with a client. If I don't feel a connection with a client, but I know who can help him or her, I'll pass them through to another coach. I only take on 5 clients per week. That's my maximum because I want to give them attention that they need. And I want them to feel special and them to feel that they can reach me when they need to. So that's why I always have a minimum of 5. And besides that, I have time to write on a book. I have time to write these columns so I can reach more at the same time. I have time to prepare for things like the Amsterdam Dance Event. I can do things like that because I decided to only spend time on a maximum of 5 clients per week.
I love that. What did you see were your stumbling blocks when starting your business and transitioning from a pay or employed to self-employed? What were the things that you were focusing on then when looking back, you're going, that was actually a waste of time?
Well, everybody has an opinion when you start your own business. And they go from, you have to do this or you have to do that. And I got really upset with that because you were like, okay, you're established, so I have to do this like this. And it threw me off my own way. And I was a bit lost in everyone saying, you have to do this and that. And then I was like, no, I don't. What do I want? What do I want to achieve? So every time I went off track, I went back to myself and back to basic and went like, what do I want? What do I need? And it sounds a little bit selfish, but it has to be me who is feeling good. And if I'm not feeling good, I can't help anyone else.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. What is it that you love about being an entrepreneur and helping artists and musicians and militarians?
Well, first off, well, they make the world such a beautiful place. And well, everybody needs music in their life. Everybody needs a little bit of art in their life so they can, escape from time to time. It's just like watching a movie. It brings you to a place in your mind where you are at ease, where you can relax. And well, we need that. And I see that in my kids, they need it. And so we need a world filled with artists and people who help them actually. So it's, for me, it's a bit, I just want to push them. So, hey, you can be yourself and I'm here for you. And that's actually my main reason to do this. And I feel such a big, and I'm not even sure how to say it, but it's like it's in my veins that I have to do this for them. It's my why or something that I'm here for.
I love it. I love it. For those listeners listening that are artists and musicians, share with us and with them what it is that you're looking for, or what it is that why that you're serving for them to, because they're not broken, they're just like little fragments that have been, kind of like fragmented, and how you're assisting them to find what are you helping them to find?
Well, sometimes it's just easy. I can help them with get their shit together when they're lost and feeling unbalanced. Or I can help them with when they're just looking for themselves, because you can get so lost in the whole branding story. You do the branding of an artist and then you go like, hey, normally I'm Fenny Nadorp and now I'm tune in. This is my business and I have to be this and I have to act like that. And it's my media trainer tells me to do this and my promoter wants me to do that. And then you get lost in yourself and there's no way that's you. And I help them to get back to themselves. What do you want? Where do you stand? And where do you want to go? So really getting back to who they are in the core and what they want to be.
I love that. I'm just thinking, just speaking out loud, like when I think of I always mention Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears because they're the most predominant, but obviously there's, older artists, Janis Joplin or the Carpenters, or where they didn't know who they were and got pushed into that whole management thing. I mean, I was just listening to Kelly Clarkson as well. She just recently got out of her contract where she was for such a long time before she could actually start doing her own thing, and how much pressure and mental pressure there is on their persona and where they want to go and what they want to do. In this space of time, they're also on a journey getting to know themselves and creating art and music and a lot of things that's in this period of being incubated against their will, so to speak. Does this if you work with them earlier, does it take away from the experience that they'd be getting in that incubation on that journey? Or would they be finding it anyway?
Well, in the end, they find it, but then they go through a lot of shit to get there. And you don't want to go there. You don't want to go through the depression or just through the alcohol or drugs abuse and, find yourself feeling sad and lonely. Where I do help a couple of agencies when they first sign an artist. I get in the introduction conversation with the artist. Who are you? Where are you from? Does your past look like? And what do you need? So I can get on the level of where does he come from? What will he find difficult? How is his communication? What is he like as a person? What does he need? And then I can go to the management and say like, okay, he's introvert. So sometimes you just have to give him the space he needs, or he's sensitive to energy of other persons. Just give him the time, or he finds it difficult to communicate and tells you what he needs. So you hand them out what the artist needs, so you can step up already before the artist is even growing as an artist and is pushed into things. So actually you're like Mother Goose protecting the artist.
Cool.
From themselves, but also from the management, who wants a lot of them, of course. And, as an artist, you have to do so many things. And a lot of them feel the need to feel grateful and can't complain. Well, actually, sometimes it's difficult to be an artist and to be constant on the road. So it's okay to once in a while have someone who you can tell, hey, I find it difficult to be away from my family, or, the food was terrible on this gig, and my God, I need some good food. And everybody goes like, okay, you can't complain. Look at the lifestyle you have. Oh, you're an artist, you're a god. No, he's an artist. He's working just like you and I. We're working. We don't get alcohol feed during the day. During my sessions, I don't drink. An artist get pushed. Oh, you're not drinking as an artist. What? No, it doesn't have to be like that. So I just help them to create a mind of their own and create a backbone and stick with it.
I love it. That is so important. Speaking about artists, the world of military and music artistry, it revolves around a lot of jealousy of one person, a lot of competition as well. And who looks the best, who has the most followers, who sold the most albums, who's ranked the highest, who has had the most validation. And these feelings, how should they handle them? How should they handle these feelings of jealousy or less than or competition?
Well, I always tell an artist to look at themselves. Would you feel, would you be jealous, or did you work hard for it to get it? Look at yourself, and how does it make you feel? And what the other person says doesn't tell anything about you. It tells something about the other person. When you make it personal, when I go like, hey, I love your glasses, it's something beautiful to say. But when I say, oh, I hate your glasses, that's just one opinion. I don't have to wear them.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Put the accountability where it belongs. And you don't have to be responsible for what the other says. It's not you who's saying it. So as long as you can look in the mirror and tell yourself, okay, I love my glasses. Well, there you go. +1. That's all you need. All you need is to believe in yourself. And that's really difficult because everybody is feeding you with, did you see that post of Christina Aguilera? Oh, the short. Oh, did you see? Oh no, did you see that fat ass of her? What? Why? She's just sitting with her legs crossed, or the picture isn't just in a right angle. My God, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
It has to be for the music, and there will always be someone with an opinion.
Always their reflection, exactly. What are the methods that you use when you're working with artists and people in leadership when it comes to creative blocks? Because we all have them, as entrepreneurs as well, but artists more because they hit really low levels, or they hit the ceiling all the time with the creative blocks. And then some, not all, some may resort to the alcohol or the drugs. Or how are you helping them with these creative blocks?
Well, first of all, I've got one rule. There's no drugs when you're having sessions with me. I hate drugs, and I think that take a lot away of the person that you are. So no drugs.
Yeah.
My biggest rule. Second of all, I look at someone's eating pattern, sleeping pattern. What are you doing? Are you getting enough time outside? Are you locking yourself in the studio? Because sometimes you just need to have a little bit of fresh air, and then you feel so much better again. And then you get inspiration. Go with an artist, the road. What do you love? Which kind of music do you love? What inspires you? So I try to find out what inspires an artist, and then I'll at least say, okay, you're going to listen to that for 2 hours, or you're going to watch it for 2 hours, and then you can absolutely do nothing. Or when it's a writer, I just tell them, sit down and start writing for at least an hour. Start writing. Doesn't matter. Even if it's a letter to your son or daughter or to your mom, just write something. It doesn't matter what it is. Just start typing. And then when you start doing it, it comes. Or sometimes an artist needs a little push. Okay, first, like a routine. Get a routine in there. Your mind loves routine. So if I decide, okay, I'm going to grab a coffee, and I go grab a coffee, and then I'm put on the computer, and I'm going to close down all my socials, because socials aren't necessary for your creating program. So you have to shut it down. So every artist is a little bit different. And I actually use my spirituality to check in with what does he need.
I love that. Now, for our listeners who may be artists or in some kind of, or a musician or the artist field, and struggling perhaps with mental health, maybe not recognizing, maybe not being aware of it yet, or maybe they are. How about we assist our listeners to either help themselves or help someone they know who has struggles? What do we do as friends to help them? And what should those artists be doing to reach out to get help?
Well, first of all, it's always good to talk about it. We're talking about it. When you ask someone how he's doing, be prepared to listen to the answer. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to know how the artist really is doing, please don't ask it. It's a human being. He can have a shitty day or feel terrible or just feel lonely or have a flu or just, we all have those bad days. So an artist can have one too. So why can't we just be open about it? So ask questions and really ask them from your heart, so you want to know. And if an artist complains sometimes, well, let him complain. I do complain about my job sometimes. I do complain about my lack of sleep sometimes. So, we always have to keep in mind an artist is still a human being, just like you and I. It's not a superhero or something like that. No, he goes to the toilet. He needs food. He needs water, just like us. So, yeah, he's a creative. When an artist just shuts down and he doesn't want to talk, it's not because he doesn't want to talk. It's just his characteristic that he's not feeling like talking. Sometimes you feel like, okay, I don't feel like to be social today. But when you're out in the open, you always have to be social or you're arrogant. So we have to get off our high horse and just see that an artist is just a human being.
I love that.
And for an artist, of course, when you feel like you can't go anywhere or you feel stuck or you feel a little bit distracted or you have the feeling, oh, I'm using a lot of alcohol these days. Something is, just go grab a shower. That's usually what I say. Go grab a shower, and a long shower and a hot shower or a cold shower. It doesn't matter. Just let the water go over your body and feel how it just rinses your everything, your pores. And you can just relax a little bit and then go inside, back to your feeling. What do I feel right now and what do I need? And who can help me with that? And make sure you have the right people around you can open up to and who have your interest in heart and not just a manager who wants to push you and make money off of you.
I love that. That's some great pointers for our listeners. I have 2 questions that I ask my guests at the end of our interview. I would love to hear your input on 3 of my values and what they mean to you. So you fill in the blanks. So creativity for you is?
Life.
That's so true.
It's really short. Life. Creativity. Everybody can be creativity, from a financial man who works numbers to someone who does painting or to someone who creates brands or, it's life. Without creativity, there's nothing.
I love that. Wisdom for you is?
Inner wisdom, knowing yourself, being able to grow.
Passion for you is?
Wow. That's a difficult one. My God, why didn't you send them just before our interview? Wow. Passion is everything that makes your heart jump for joy and that makes your eyes glitter and where you go like, oh, yes, that's passion.
I love that. It's when everything all together is just like, ding. Yes.
Yeah. How can you describe passion? My God, it's
everything. Yeah. And lastly, how do you want to change or alter or challenge the world doing what you do?
Well, I will always be there and say, we're in this together. So let us look after each other. That's the first thing. And I will be screaming that from the rooftops, of course. And well, the Amsterdam Dance Event, I get involved there. I do my columns. I do my socials. Everybody can always reach out to me and I will find a time to answer them or to help them or to refer them to someone else. So yeah, I will be the person that will be there for the other one. And I always will keep on asking the mean questions that someone doesn't want to hear because they're just putting on an act. Oh, I'm so good and I'm feeling so great. And I go, oh yeah, and what about this and that and that? And then I go like, oh snap, you see through my act. Yes, I see through your act. So please be you, and it's okay. Come on. So that's actually what I do and what I will keep on doing.
I love it. I love it. Fenny, thank you so much for sharing, especially for artists, the ones that create a lot of color and beauty and challenge our truths in the world. And they are the ones that are most susceptible to mental health and depression and drugs and alcohol, with pressures from the perception or assumption that they have to be more when they're already enough. And it's people like you that remind us of that as well, and being responsible for that and taking that why on and going, this is my calling, I'm doing this. Yeah. Thank you very much for doing that and taking care of our artists and making sure that their mental health is like spot on. And for our listeners, if you feel the need to reach out, or you know of someone that's in this predicament or in this situation where they're going down a rabbit hole, but it's not a good rabbit hole to a nice wonderland, reach out to fennynadorp.com, or in the show notes you can find out more information about her. And yeah, it was great to speak to you today. You can find out also Fenny's favorite book, favorite quote in the show notes, and where she is on social media. Thank you so much for being here today, Fenny.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome. And I look forward to speaking to you again on social media.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. And to my listeners, remember to be fast and furious and be the change that you want to see and be in the world. I love you lots, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Please, 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 please share the podcast and make sure you've subscribed, because a bunch of you aren't subscribed. And more importantly, I know that you've listened to this podcast and haven't told your friends, family, and besties and clients that this is the best podcast in the world. I'm watching. Have a great day.